Hi, welcome to today's video. Okay, so today I'd like to talk about a rather worrying topic, although it's something that is actually trending in the news and a lot of people are speaking about it, but I actually see it as a worrying trend that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. So the issue is this. There's actually a deadline for that has been set by the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, INEC, for people that want to register to vote to get their permanent voters card, or those that want to maybe replace their cards or want to move their voting locations from one location to another. So basically everything that has to do with getting registered with INEC towards 2027 election is currently ongoing. And then a deadline has been placed for sometime in July, around middle of July. So as a result of that short period that people have to get themselves sorted regarding their voting status and their voters card, a lot of people have been, going to the office of INEC to try to sort out their registration or their renewal or whatever they need to do in order to be prepared for the forthcoming election in 2027. But interestingly, one particular trend has become very common, and that is the fact that, first of all, beginning from the INEC website where you have to go and register, and then after registration, you're asked to go to a particular INEC office, usually in various local governments, to pick up your INEC card. Firstly, a lot of people that have been trying to access that website have noticed or have had a problem of irregular downtime. The system is often down, the network is usually down. A lot of times when they try, they get a feedback that a response that the network is down. So it's been occurring for a while now, and people have been raising concern about it. And funny enough, INEC has not really come out to address this concern. Now, for those who have been going to the various INEC offices in different local governments to pick up their cards and regularize their voting status, that is another thing altogether. A lot of people have been posting things online about the very poor experience they've been getting at INEC offices around the nation. So this is it. For several INEC offices where people go in their hundreds, if not in their thousands, you have situations where you have just one functional computer in a particular INEC office. And this is an office that is supposed to attend to people from a particular local government, usually numbering in their hundreds and possibly thousands. And so you just have one computer, and how much can that do? At the end of the day, you find that they attend to only a few people in a day. And in many cases, there's also been reports that this these computers or the system, the internet system in these INEC offices have not been working. So people have gone there, they've always been told that there's network glitch, there's network challenge. And oftentimes they are advised to try to go to the next nearest office, maybe INEC office, maybe the nearby to that particular place. And when for people who have had that experience, when they go to the next INEC office, it's still the same experience. So people are not able to get their cards, they're not able to do their verification or whatever they need to do and get registered by going to the INEC office. So it's actually a general trend. So you find out that people go there early in the morning, they put aside their work, their business, just to make out a day to go and get registered to get their voters card, permanent voters card, PVC, for next year's election, and many of them are not able to do so. So, this is already raising a lot of concerns among Nigerians. So people are saying, okay, in a country where you have an internet service that is relatively reliable, you have the telecom providers providing internet, you have other internet providers who provide internet for big organizations, even government establishments and all that, and they don't have such issues of constant network glitch. So how come INEC is having constant issues with its network? And then come to think of it, INEC has budgeted and has gotten approval of about 700, let me look at the figures now. Okay, 873 billion naira for next year's election. So that is the budget for 2027 general election, 873 billion naira. And yet you go to INEC offices, you have one computer. You go to some INEC offices, they are not open. You go to some offices, they have network glitch. People have to wait, and then they have to go away in frustration because they're not able to carry out the registration. So the question is this: is this actually a network glitch, or is it a deliberate attempt to ensure that fewer Nigerians are able to register and fewer Nigerians are able to vote? Okay, so there's been a lot of theories to explain the situation. Some people who are in the opposition are accusing the APC government of deliberately ensuring that a lot of people are not able to vote, because a lot of young people are eager to register and then so that they'll be eligible to vote for vote in next year's election. So because a lot of people want to vote for the opposition parties, they want to vote differently, not for the ruling party. So there's this accusation against the ruling party that they are deliberately causing this hitch to ensure that fewer people are able to get registered and to vote in next year's election. And if this happens according to such points of view or such school of thought, it means that it will give certain advantage to the president, the current president, incumbent president Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his party. So that is what some people have been insinuating. So and interestingly, again, this issue is not being given the desired attention. For example, a lot of newspapers, major newspapers, have not been giving this problem the adequate coverage it deserves. It's just mainly on the social media that Nigerians are trying to give feedback on what their experiences have been with INEC and with their voters registration. So INEC have not come out to address the issue officially. Most mainstream media houses, newspapers, radio, television, and all that have not also addressed this issue adequately. So it needs to be addressed. It needs attention. So what do you think about this? Do you think it's actually a technical glitch or technical challenge, as INEC officials claim when people go to their offices, or as can be seen on their website? Or do you think it's the government of the day deliberately trying to reduce the number of Nigerians that can vote so that they can have certain advantage? Then another issue related to this particular INEC issue that is making a lot of Nigerians cast a huge doubt on INEC's credibility towards preparations and delivery of next year election is the recent issue where the special assistant to the Minister of the Federal Capital, his name is Larry Olayinka. So Larry Olayinka recently posted on the social media criticizing Emeka Ike. Emeka Ike happens to be a popular actor in Nigeria. So recently he indicated his interest to contest for a seat in the National Assembly under the NDC party and in Abuja, one of the federal seats in Abuja. So the special assistant to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, Larry Olayinka, came out to criticize and to make some harsh comments against Emeka Ike on social media. So while he did that, he was claiming that Emeka Ike had been registered to vote in Imo State, and then he just got his voters registration transferred to Abuja, like recently, maybe a few weeks ago. And then he's trying to say that Emeka Ike does not really have, would I say, maybe the moral grounds to contest election in Abuja when he has never voted in Abuja. And one thing stood out for a lot of Nigerians. He shared screenshots to show, to try to buttress his point. And incidentally, the screenshots that he shared online shows the login URL or the login website of INEC. And then it's actually the admin part of the INEC login. So Nigerians are raising questions. How did the special assistant to the FCT minister have access to the details of a vote? Of course, it's only an official of INEC, not even every official of INEC that can have access to back-end information of a voter. Is actually those that are permitted or authorized to do so. So the question is, did the special assistant to the minister, does he have access to INEC portal? Or is it somebody that had access to INEC portal that leaked the information to him? So a lot of questions are being raised about INEC's credibility to organize a free and fair election, spanning from the glitches they've been having, people being unable to complete their registration, either online or when they go to INEC offices, and then coming to the fact that the special assistant to the FCT minister was able to share some information which should be confidential, and the man is not an INEC official. So it paints a picture that possibly he has access to confidential information, INEC information, or someone that has access in INEC has revealed those details to him. So it's actually a lot of concern for Nigerians at the moment in terms of the way things are going on the side of INEC in preparing towards the next year's election. So what do you think about the situation? Do you feel INEC is compromised, or do you feel INEC is taking sides, or do you feel INEC is actually working for the interest of the government, or possibly the claims they are making about having technical problems could be true? So there are actually many opinions flying around regarding this very worrying and important situation as Nigerians gear up for a major election, 2027 general election. So tell me what you think. Let's know what you think regarding these challenges that INEC people are facing, with INEC, and how they're preparing towards next year election, bearing in mind the huge budget that they have for this election, and their actions and activities doesn't seem like they're really prepared for this election. So what do you think? Is INEC prepared? Is this a sign that the 2027 general elections may not go very well? Or is it something that is temporary and will probably be sorted out before the election period? Let us know what you think. So thank you very much for watching tonight's video. I'd like you to share this video. I'd like to share your comments, and also like you to stay tuned for the next video. All right, guys, have a great day.